Hello, it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and my room is a mess. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me today. We are doing the Friday Love reading. We are going to look at the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self. Understand that whatever state we find this energy in, we can see this reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others. And if we do want to see change, we need to shift the energy within so that our circumstances without start to change. If you've been in a state of stagnancy, nothing has changed for you, you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. One of the reasons why you're waiting and waiting and waiting is because you're not actively shifting or changing your energy. If you fall into the trap of watching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tarot readings, which believe me, we've all been there, and you feel and you take a look around and you're like, nothing has changed, I'm not seeing anything happen, it's because the tarot readings do not bring you change. They tell you what you need to change. If the tarot reading says your person is going to come back and they're going to communicate with you and they're going to prioritize you and they're going to choose you, and you aren't doing those things in your life with your own energy, then that is why those readings are not coming to fruition. You have to make changes. That's the biggest part of getting any benefit from any of these readings. If you just want to be entertained, get a little, like excited feeling because you think your person's coming back, that's cool. That's fine. That's okay. But if you really want things to change, you do need to make an effort. Um, and I can help you with that. I have a few different services that may be helpful to you. One thing I want to say is that I have spots for one-on-one clients. I have room for about three more people right now. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, there's a link in my profile under the tunedintarot.com where you can send me and ask me anything, or you can send me an email if you prefer. My email's there too for you. The best way to contact me about working one-on-one on a weekly basis is to go through email so we can determine how many weeks you would like to work with me, whether you want to do it every single week, bi-monthly, a few times a year, if you are wanting primarily just readings, or if you want spiritual nourishment or help with pursuing your passions, or whatever it is that you think you need support in, I will offer you guidance in that. And I have you of course you can book a one-on-one appointment with me just for an hour, but if you want a recurring appointment, I do have a package that makes the hour-long appointment much more affordable. So if that sounds like something that piques your interest, get in touch with me and ask me about working one-on-one with me, and I will get you sorted. If you just want to schedule one-on-one reading with me so you can virtually see me and chat with me, that's available right at the link tunedintarot.com. Scroll down to work one-on-one. It's half off right now, so I would take advantage of that, and get your full length hour long plus, it's usually a little over an hour, reading with me face to face. You know you want it. There's also membership, and I would love it if you could please help me determine what benefits you would like to see in the membership program. I'm trying to redesign my membership program. I want it to really reflect the needs, wants, desires of the community who wants to be a part of that program. So even if you're not a member now, click the membership feedback form, fill it out, and when I get a chance, I will send you a one-card reading to the email that you leave in the form. If you don't leave me your form, I can't send you your reading. So just have to make sure you do leave me an email. And there's a place to check that if you don't want to receive other communications outside of your reading. So don't worry that it's just going to turn into a bunch of emails. I'm not a person who sends a lot of newsletters. I don't like getting a lot of newsletters, so I don't really send a lot of things. So yes, all of that is there and available at that link in my profile. And I thank you for being here with me today. Let's get started on the Friday Love reading and see how the divine masculine and feminine energy are thinking, saying, doing towards one another, the harmony that, because how to harmonize those things and the potential happiness between them, as well as a whole bunch of oracle healing for each side of self. Okay, so you can relate this energy to your person, but don't simply relate only the feminine or only the masculine energy to your person. Your person is complex just as you are, and there'll probably be messages from both sides for you about your person and about yourself. Okay, so I'm doing overall energy, and I'm doing something that neither one of these energies see coming right now. just to get a sense of where we are before we dive into what are they thinking, saying, and doing. So, overall, for the masculine energy today, we have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords, of course, is about healing wounded heart feelings, having a broken heart, having and the thing is, it's definitely not a great feeling because the swords are thoughts, right? They're not actually implements of violence. And the Ace of Swords is the truth. And the Two of Swords is when you kind of don't want to make up your mind about something, you're indecisive, or you have finally decided and made some kind of a choice. So for me, when I get to the Three of Swords, the heartbreak is that when you face the truth about a choice you have made or not made, that causes you pain, that causes you suffering, and it opens up wounds that you are carrying with you that cause you to either be decisive or indecisive in a certain direction. So this masculine is feeling um, pain, grief, suffering, heartache, heart opening energy, because you kind of get cracked wide open when these sorts of revelations happen. And it's about his ability, or either the decisions or choices that he has made, or the difficulty he has with making a choice and his lack of decisiveness. Either way, he's having to face the truth, and the truth hurts and it's painful, and he is experiencing grief. Um, it's like he can't make up his mind. I'm getting the sense that he can't make up his mind. And it could be with Three of Swords and any three energy, it could be that there is something in his way, something preventing him from making a choice, telling the truth, revealing the truth, having a person in his life who, hi Lena, good to see you, who is potentially standing in the way of him being able to share the truth. um Another partner, his fixation or focus or obsession, his addiction, his career. It really could be any number of things, but there can be something that he is thinking, and it's only thinking, it's only an illusion, that is actually preventing him from making some kind of choice that he wants to make. And so that is his overall energy right now. And for those of you that are asking questions here on TikTok, just know that I will open up the list for personal questions after this collective reading. You may get your question answered in the collective reading, though, so I highly recommend sticking around and listening because you probably showed up here for a reason. My readings are not free, but you can send any amount of donation to the link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App when the list is open following the collective reading. Divine Feminine, overall energy of the Divine Feminine right now, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's the spider web here. Now, I used to have an orb weaver who lived in the door, like the doorway of my old apartment, and she would build these incredible webs, and I definitely made friends with her. I would talk to her, and she was just the most creative and just would make the most beautiful designs I've ever seen, really. And that's the gift, the blessing of the spider spirit, which is that they create their webs and they do it out of this instinct, this nature, this calling, this drive. That's their dharma, so to speak, their mission, their purpose. And then they simply wait patiently. They've built the web, and then they have complete faith or trust that the web that they have created will attract the juicy flies they need to survive, and that it will bring them their food. And then they have to approach their creation with detachment, where they will tear down the web that they wove, and go to a new place and build again, or they will abandon their webs. Usually they do actually tear it down, but they will abandon it and go to a new place and do it again with the faith and trust that what they've asked for, which in this case for the spider is sustenance, life's blood, that it will come to them. And so that's the energy that the feminine has. I've put in the time, I've done the work, I've built the web, I've made something really beautiful. And I'm patient about whether or not it's going to turn into abundance or turn into that gesture of love that I'm seeking. And I'm detached about having to sort of tear it down and start again if I have to, because I'm starting to realize that the joy and the fulfillment is really coming from the process of creating the web. That's something I'm learning as I age and gather wisdom in my life. So that's where the feminine is. So, of the two, the feminine is definitely feeling better. She is more at peace. The masculine has got grief and pain with that Three of Swords. He's hurting. He's got healing to do, the wounds that are opening right now in his heart space. And the feminine is like, I've done the work, put in the time, and now I just sit here and wait for the goods to fly into my web. Something the masculine doesn't see coming is the Six of Wands energy, which is all about victory and success. And it's about peace coming after an internal struggle. You can see that there are two hands holding this disc in this card. And this isn't a Pentacles card, so it's not meant to represent a pentacle, so to speak, but it is representing like the spoil of war that you now get to grasp because of all the work that you've done. So the masculine doesn't quite see that. He is absolutely going to overcome this struggle and this pain. There's if you pay attention to the astrology, this is one of the reasons why I really do like the Hermetic Tarot, because it has the astrology embedded on the cards. We have Jupiter and Saturn energy here. Saturn and Jupiter both being big, um, or I'm sorry, Jupiter and Leo energy on the Six of Wands, and Saturn and Libra energy on the Three of Swords. So Saturn is a struggle energy, an energy of, it's like a big, cumbersome, like mundane kind of things that you just have to deal with. And you just have to figure it out, or let the divine figure things out for you when that energy is present. And it's definitely difficult energy. But the Libra energy is something where you're balancing out. So the scales are being balanced as you work through that heavy Saturn energy. You're balancing the scale. So you're working through karma, I guess you can say. Although I feel like we have a very limited view of karma in the New Age spiritual movement, but that's where that masculine energy is, and what that's what he doesn't see coming. What divine feminine doesn't see coming is the Fool card. New life, being able to actually be supported after having taken whatever risk she took to just go off and build her web and trust that things are going to work out. She doesn't actually see how the things are going to work out and how she's going to be fully supported, and having taken risks and putting her life on hold in some way, focusing on her passions, focusing on the things she's making in this world. It's a really beautiful energy. I'm taking a long time today, so looks like this is going to be a long reading. Tuck in, everybody. If you're just joining me on TikTok, know that I'm also streaming live to YouTube. So if you cannot stay for the full reading here on TikTok, that reading will be available on YouTube for you later today, so you can see the whole collective reading. And after this, I will be doing personal readings, and I will let you know when the list is open for that. And it is Pay What You Want readings today, and we'll get to that soon. Okay, divine masculine. What is divine masculine thinking right now about divine feminine? Here we have the universe card, and we have a recurring Saturn energy coming through with this universe. And it says, the great one of the nighttime, the great one of the night of time. And this is the world card in the tarot. It's also known as the world card. So it's the final major arcana card. It is a sign of completion, and it has all the elements represented that compose the world: earth, air, water, fire. And it is definitely, he's really thinking that this union, or all the pieces falling into place or coming together with the feminine, represents for him completion. So there is definitely this realization, enlightenment, that being balanced, which is what he is working on in that overall energy with the Three of Swords, balancing out his karma. completing those cycles and actually balancing out your karma makes you feel complete. Now, this is often misinterpreted in the twin flame community as the completion being you and another person coming together. And that is a misinterpretation of these spiritual meanings. The tarot is a spiritual tool. It is not a physical tool that is meant to show you the physical outcomes. It's meant to show you what your mindset is like, what your energy is like, and how far or close you are to being in alignment with your desires of manifestation in reality. So, for the tarot readers that are like, oh, I'm seeing union, I'm seeing physical union, and there's a lot of twin flame couples coming into union, I have to ask. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've been doing twin flame readings for 3 years. I've been watching twin flame readings for 3 years. I have been looking for content. Are you personally seeing a lot of physical unions between what you would deem two spiritual individuals who have done a lot of their work and healing and come together in a very balanced energy and have very healthy and stable relationships? Because I am not seeing that, and I do it for a living. I work with people on these topics and have for the past 3 years. I have people who I work with who have had new relationships and, worked on their physical relationships. But I have not had many instances where I have actually experienced this whole concept of these waves of different people coming together. And I think that there's so many predictions that you see on TikTok about, oh, this wave of twins is coming into union in this year, and this wave is coming into union in this time. And there's no evidence of that happening. In fact, if you go read an article right now, you will see that the actual state of the world in our society is that there is a lot of division between people coming together right now. It's actually difficult. There's a difficulty there. And it's primarily because we are doing the spiritual union work that is required for us to be in healthy, stable relationships. And that is actually limiting who we get to be with because it's not work that a lot of people do. It doesn't mean you're special or better or higher or anything like that. It's not about spiritual elitism. It just means that as you do this work within you, you start to see that your pool of options for people that you want to spend your life with grows smaller, not larger, because many people are not aware of these subtle energies within themselves. They're not comfortable exploring them, and they don't really understand them. And what we have is a lot of pushback against the idea that we need to have interdependence, not codependence. Like if we say, as feminine identifying gendered individuals, that we don't want to have to carry the mental load of the domestic household as well as all the domestic chores and have our own careers and be responsible for taking care of our partner as if our partner was a child. There is a pushback against that then what we really want is actually a hyper masculine identifying individual, which most feminine identifying gendered individuals actually do not want. They do not want a hyper masculine imbalanced person. They want somebody who understands the struggle and the perspective and has the mental capacity and physical capacity to bear the load equally that the feminine gendered identifying people have had to bear. So I am just using my observation of the world, of the things I'm seeing and hearing people talk about, of my own household dynamics growing up in a more traditional household dynamic. And what I am seeing is that these predictions of these waves of twins coming together in the physical are really falling by the wayside. But what is happening is that there are many human beings right now who are honoring their creativity, their emotions, who are respecting and honoring how they feel, expressing how they feel, taking action towards their dreams, being mindful and thoughtful, not allowing their emotions to cause them to be reactive. That is the union that I believe is happening. That is the progress that I see happening. That for me is what the meaning of the twin flame journey is, so to speak. And I use that term lightly because it is a term that was coined by a woman who had a cult, and it doesn't really have any ancient origins or anything like that. So if you're interested in learning more about twin flames, follow my Twin Flames Explained series. I go into detail about all of these concepts. I have a doozy coming out later today about the 144,000, and I'm pretty excited to share with everybody. So enjoy that. But it's important that you know this stuff, because I don't want you to see my readings or watch other people readings and sit there and be like, oh, this means my person and I are going to be together and we're going to be happy forever. And then just sit there and wait for that to happen, because that is not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to sit and wait for you and another person to get together so you can have material happiness and lots of, manifest a lot of wealth and a lot of prosperity. And not that you don't get to experience the safety and security of a mindset that is an abundance mindset, but it's not really ever going to be about that. No spiritual tool is ever truly going to be about material happiness. Material happiness is something the ego is fixated upon, not the spirit. And so that's really important for me to say, and apparently take 10 minutes to do so. You're welcome. Okay, the universe card. So divine masculine thinks of the feminine energy as something that completes him. And so for me, that is you finally understanding, oh, my emotions, my emotional well-being, my emotional fulfillment, my ability to pursue things I'm really passionate about, my ability to express my feelings, that completes me. And in the physical, the person who is embodying this masculine energy, or aware of this, or balanced in this energy, is realizing that the person that they have feelings for has helped them learn this lesson, has helped them achieve some sense of completion. And it's not about them physically being together as much as it is about mentally coming to understand this. Divine feminine, what are you thinking about divine masculine energy? We have the Three of Wands. Okay. So divine feminine can see the potential of the unity and what the unity of heart and mind promises. If I am balanced, my head and my heart, then I have the potential to be expansive. I have the potential to enjoy life on a level that I've never imagined before, because I was so limited before, either being reactive to the thoughts I had that were filled with limiting beliefs, or not trusting the feelings I had about what is really true for me and my intuition. And when I was in that state and when I was imbalanced, I didn't have that stability that's required to be able to really have the life that I'm envisioning. And I am now patient with this process. I understand that there is mending that has to be done for me to be able to achieve my potential. And I have faith that it will happen, and I'm okay with it. And I have been waiting for this masculine energy within me to take the actions required to move from this period of healing and faith into the level of commitment that's required for me to have the life that I want to have. So, from the Three of Wands to the Four of Wands, I'm patient with that process. I know that it takes time. For instance, if I decided that I wanted to change my physical health and well being, I would know right now, logically, that I will have to take some time to do that. It's not going to happen when I wake up in the morning. It's probably going to happen when I wake up a few months from now, that I will be like, oh, wow, my joints feel better. I have more flexibility. I have more mobility. I have a better outlook on life. I have a better outlook on my body. It took time for me to get there. And so it's an awareness that things do take time, and that's okay. So the divine feminine is very patient. She's not in a state where she has this impatience towards the masculine energy, thinking, why isn't he doing anything? She's recognizing, oh, he is doing something. He is healing. He is mending, just like I had to do, right? And he is mirroring me. What is the divine masculine actually saying to the feminine energy right now? We have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is all about missing opportunities, not seeing that cup when it was offered to you because you were focused on the other three cups. um it's about being grounded, and it's about meditation, and it's about fearing rejection too, like not really fully believing your cup will be accepted, or that one will be offered to you. It's also about dreams and fantasies, and it's about just kind of sitting back and kicking back and not really being very proactive. And so I'm actually getting a sense that the masculine energy might not be saying a whole lot to the feminine. He might be fantasizing about what he wants to say. He might be feeling a little bit sorry for himself, sitting there under that Bodhi tree, like trying to tune into that higher level consciousness about, you know, that missed opportunity. Because I think when he really reflects upon what he's missed out on, there's a lot of disappointment there, which takes us then into the Five of Cups, which is about disappointment and regret. Now, I'm relating this to myself when I think about how I have had many, many opportunities over the past year where I could have honed my skills again and gone out and performed music, but I haven't searched for those opportunities. Instead, I focus more on the fact that I'm kind of stuck in this temporary place, and I want to move to the next place, and I can't really form relationships or, start to build a network of people who I perform with, because this isn't where I want to be. And so I fantasize about what my life could be like or what my life was like, instead of taking the action to take any of the cups that are being offered to me in my current state. So that's how you might relate that masculine energy back to yourself. Because I'm sure when I read this, you're thinking about the person who's missed opportunities with you, but make sure you think about how you've missed your own opportunities to shine, to live out your dreams and fantasies, and just kind of kept it in a fantasy place because you're waiting for someone else to come in and sort of like give you the permission to do what it is that you actually want to do in the world. Um, what is the divine feminine saying to the masculine? We have the Nine of Cups. I keep seeing the Nine of Cups. Now, the Nine of Cups is an auspicious card that really does represent wish fulfillment. And when you see it a lot and it's coming up in a lot of readings, it does mean like a lot of your wishes are being granted right now. Now, either you don't see them being granted, you're not aware of them being granted, or you're not aware that when you wished for things, it's from a place of unworthiness. And so the things that are coming through are not worthy of you. Thank you for my little heart thing. I appreciate that. Is that from Malin? Thank you so much. So definitely the divine feminine is really saying to the masculine, like, you know, I wish what I'm really feeling is that this is this saying to the masculine energy, I really wish you wouldn't be so selfish. I wish you would share your gifts, share and express all of the abundance you have within you. I wish that you wouldn't withhold this abundance from yourself with your limiting thinking about the situation. And this is what we do when we don't believe in our own ability to generate wealth and abundance because of the limiting beliefs we carry from our past. What is the divine masculine actually doing doing to the feminine? Five of Wands, Lord of Strife. That's very relatable. The divine feminine or the divine masculine is blocking the feminine out, shutting her out, um, like in conflict with her, mentally grappling with the idea of that commitment to her, or her ability to commit to him. There's a fight here. He's fighting against her. So he's really, and it's all about ideas in the mind too. It's like he has ideas that actively prevent him from moving forward with the feminine. But what do you recall though that we found was actually something the masculine doesn't see coming? It's the Six of Wands. So what he doesn't see coming is, as he's processing this grief from the Three of Swords that we're seeing over the missed opportunities, over the fact that he's cycled once again through the same behaviors. What he doesn't see coming is that he is actually going to have success over this struggle. But absolutely right now, he is absolutely blocking out the divine feminine with his own ideas about how things should be between them. Divine feminine, what are you doing to the divine masculine? Daughter of Wands or Page of Wands card. I'm getting a sense of something that's happening over and over again, but you have initiated communication with the masculine in some way again. You have sparked the masculine, lit a fire, you know, given some kind of a small gesture that shows your openness to receiving communication. So you might not necessarily have like texted a 3 paragraphs or run out of room to like in the direct message on Instagram, but you might have just sent some kind of a clear message, just a little indication of I am open. The idea that I am closed off to you is not one that I share. And what do you get when you add this initiation, this spark, this wand to the 5 of Wands? You get exactly what the masculine didn't see coming: success or victory. So the masculine is thinking that this situation is blocked. The feminine is offering some kind of a spark, getting the fire lit towards the masculine. This adds up to success. So ultimately, the masculine will be successful in pursuing this feminine energy. And it is precisely the fact that that feminine still has those embers burning and has kind of stoked the fire that will kind of push that masculine energy through the 5 of Wands. So I'm on day 9 of a 30-day challenge for my Follow Your Passions project, where I am following my passion of making music and creating content about music. And I have done that. I have done these little small 15-minute things each day to stoke the fire of my masculine energy, to take that action towards my release of my EP, towards my booking shows, and just going through and doing what I really truly want to do. And so because I'm doing that internally, I can see how that's playing out externally with the person who I want to initiate communication with. I've taken steps to do that initiation. Now, what does the masculine energy need to do to create more harmony between what he's thinking, saying, and doing with the divine feminine? Hi, Grace. Good to see you. The Empress card. I think we've seen the Empress card as many times as we have seen the 9 of Cups lately. The Empress is like an energy that won't quit right now. So, in order to create more harmony between what the masculine is thinking, saying, and doing, he needs to recognize, honor, and respect the position that the feminine energy has within him. So this is when, you have a person, it doesn't matter what their gender is, a person who disregards their intuition and values their intellect more than their feelings. Even though there's been plenty of research that shows that it is our initial instinct that is actually the best choice. There's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink. It talks at length about this phenomenon, that our impulse that we typically have first, the feeling that we get about something, is accurate. But a lot of times we will overthink. We will value the logical, analytical, masculine energy more than the feminine, which causes an imbalance that causes problems to arise. The reason why this happens, I think, is a side effect of the way our society is structured around materialism. Materialism causes people to become focused more on the projection into their reality than on the internal feelings they have. And this allows them to continue to act unethically. For instance, the device I'm using um, to do this reading for you, both the devices I actually am using right now, both of these devices are created by a corporation that we all know uses workers in other countries and pays them very little and does not provide a healthy, safe working environment, and they do that in order to increase their profits. So we knowingly purchase these items. And in order to do that, you literally have to detach yourself from your feelings about other people. You have to cut yourself off from the acknowledgement that those humans that created the products that you're using are suffering. And the only way that you would be able, that I can then make my abundance, is to put that their suffering aside so that I can utilize these tools to try to alleviate my own suffering. And my own suffering becomes more important to me than another person's suffering. That's an imbalance. And it doesn't mean that we're evil. It doesn't mean that we're all bad and horrible. It just means that we have learned to value one thing more than another. And it's a side effect of the way that our society functions. And in other societies, this isn't how people act. There are societies where the village or the community is more important than the individual interests. But in a capitalist society, the individual is most important. And the ideal consumer is one that lives completely alone and isolated and has to pay for everything in their lives to be outsourced, because then every single thing that happens is paid for, so that there is constantly profit being made. That's really the ideal that would be achieved in a truly capitalist society, right? So we're grappling with all of these things. That's part of what makes our collective so revolutionary, is that we are trying to find a way through a quagmire of imbalance, and balancing within is how we accomplish that. So this masculine must recognize the value and importance that the feminine has in his life, inside of him internally. He must honor it, he must respect it, and he must approach that throne. And look at how there is scales on right here, which is an unusual image in an empress card. He must balance out the energy within him. What must the feminine do to achieve more harmony between what she's thinking and saying and doing? We have the hermit energy here. So the hermit is about internal spiritual journeys, where you follow the light. You follow the light, which is your feminine energy, the spark, the thing that motivates you, the thing that shows you the way, so to speak. You go within and you find that within you. My sense is that the feminine has been too much in an energy of that internal journey. She has retreated inside, rather than put herself out there, because it will make her vulnerable. So she needs to come out of her shell more. She needs to be more vulnerable. She needs to balance her energy, because the masculine energy is the energy that's more external, right? That projection out into the world, whereas the feminine energy is withdrawn within. So she needs to balance her energy and come out of the hermit energy. She's been in isolation for too long, and she's hiding there, protecting her energy, hoping the masculine will bring her out of her shell, when it is actually up to her to balance out her masculine energy, bring herself out of the shell, and then see what the world has to offer her. Because she's been searching this light within, and there is a light here outside of her that the world is wanting to show her, but she has to come out to receive it. So what this looks like is when you are just kind of focused on one person and you're waiting for them to come and express themselves to you, and you keep trying to spark something with that one person, and you're, by doing that, by being hyper focused on that one person and remaining alone and not going out and being in community, you are not allowing this new fresh start to begin. What is the happiness potential between the two? We have here the Five of Pentacles, which is an energy of separation, and it's a sad energy. It's a struggle. It's the energy of not being enough, of not having enough. it's beggar energy, like begging for things. But it's also being out in the cold and feeling like the spiritual fulfillment you're seeking is inaccessible to you. And that is coming out with the Justice card, which in this image is showing us these two cats, both of which are independent energies. So for me, this is the ultimate representation of interdependence. Two cats that are able to exist completely on their own and receive the rewards for the work that they've done and take care of themselves and nurture themselves and honor their freedom, but then come together in a balanced way and not be too much in one energy or the other. So the happiness potential is really based on your personal individual ability to be balanced within yourself. And this is in direct contrast to a lot of the teachings from the polarity community. The polarity community teaches you that if you want to be in a good relationship, you need to be all female and the other person needs to be all male, asserting binaries, which I really hate, because there is no true biological or gender binary. That is an illusion. There is a lot of fluidity on the spectrum of biology and gender expression. So asserting binary is counterproductive to expansion and growth. If you look at angelic, like the stories we have about angelic beings, which are higher level beings, the closest beings to the supreme consciousness, they are almost always depicted as androgynous. So it is humanity, which is this denser body that was sort of fragmented and taught the illusion of separation in order for them to experience the material, right? That's traditionally how we look at that relationship. But in order for you to truly be closer to the supreme consciousness, you actually have to embrace the balance within you. If you're all feminine, then that means you're all emotion, you're emotionally reactive, you're open, passive, and receptive, which the patriarchy would love you to be. 100%, the patriarchy would very much like you to think that if you want to have a good marriage, you need to be a passive, feminine, barefoot in the kitchen and pregnant, period. That's good for the patriarchy. What's not good for the patriarchy is expecting your partner to be able to have an emotional IQ, to be able to share the domestic mental load, like the things we talked about in the beginning. That's not good for the patriarchy. That is good for all of us, but it's not good for this one group who has dominated for so long. So, true union, true physical union that is satisfying, rewarding, stable, and healthy is not the kind of union that the polarity community is talking about. I just think that that is very far removed from what will truly make you feel good at the end of the day. But I'm just one person. This is my opinion based on my research and my experiences. So to each his own. And if you really resonate with the polarity teachings and it really helps you and your connection, by all means, do what works for you. I have, no judgment, and I potentially could be wrong about what I'm saying. I just know that in my experience, my life has gotten better as I have become less in imbalanced in either of my energies. If I'm too giving, then I'm too much in my masculine energy. If I'm too passive, then I'm too much in my feminine energy. I know that to be either one of those things is problematic, and being somehow balanced is best for me. I will say though, to those members of the polarity community and any members of the twin flame community, show me the proof that show me the twins coming together. Show me all these people in the physical coming together. I have not seen them. I have heard about it. I have not seen it. There's only a handful of people I've seen that I follow or come up on my feed, or I've seen when I've like Googled different things about it. I do not see these healthy interdependent people proclaiming that they finally came together. I see people coming back together. I see them having a lot of the same problems they had in the beginning. I work with clients who have gotten into new relationships, and they'll call me 6 months to a year afterwards and be like, I can't believe it, I'm experiencing the exact same things I was before. And I'm like, that's because the core wounds are not about who you're with. The core wounds exist until you heal them. Once you heal them, you will not react the same way to the triggers that your partner will often create within you. So once your reactivity changes, and that's the energy shifting, then you stop seeing the whole um, perpetuation of those dynamics that you're constantly experiencing. I'm seeing you here say twin flame isn't for union. The truth is, nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I don't believe that twin flames aren't meant to come into union. I don't believe they're not meant to come into union. There is no authority. The word twin flame comes from a woman who had a cult. It's not an ancient term. It doesn't come from any ancient doctrines. I have this giant book by Helena Blavatsky right now that I am making my way through. It's 536 pages of brutal, convoluted, interesting information written in 1877 on science and theology from her perspective at that time. Brilliant observations, very fascinating. But she makes claims with no basis. For instance, she claimed that Pythagoras studied in India. There is no evidence that Pythagoras studied in India. He studied in Egypt. We know that he did that, but we don't know for sure he studied in India. If you are making a claim about something without any way of verifying that claim, then your information is virtually useless, because you are simply saying what you think or feel without any sort of pattern for being able to determine whether that's true or not. So I just feel that in terms of believing anything about twin flames, you're limiting yourself. Release all limiting beliefs as much as you possibly can. Read the information that people wrote who make claims. Find out who those people were. Not only do I have that book, I have a biography about her, so I can understand what her life was like and find out where some of these things came from that she's claiming. There is no, as a lapsed Catholic, I can tell you right now that independent thought is a privilege and an honor, and it is absolutely your badge that you should wear proudly as a person of the 21st century who can study any spiritual system or belief system that you want to. There is no reason to limit yourself. So don't do it. I would not recommend it. Okay, let's look at the masculine energy and feminine energy now and what they would say to each other. So the masculine would say to the divine feminine, it says, you see clearly now, but I'm actually getting the sense that what he would say is, I see clearly now. This is number 43. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we saw the overall energy of the masculine was the Three of Swords, which was painful. And I explained that that comes from recognizing a truth or having some kind of clarity about your behavior. And so I really feel this masculine is saying, I see clearly now. I am reminding myself that the wisdom within me is informed by my keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness that we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, my sensitivities are turbocharged, and I am receiving messages from all directions. I am reminding myself to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all my senses aroused, I have much knowledge available to me. Clarity will come as I sit with all that I am sensing, allowing my intuition to guide me in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Let my wisdom arise and be my guide as I trust the acuity of all my senses. Intuition is real and can provide the clarity I need to understand my situation right now. My relationship, my finances, my job, whatever it is, I can see the truth clearly now. That is so significant because this reading said that what would actually bring harmony to the masculine energy is to acknowledge his intuition. So I really love that idea that the intuition actually brings wisdom, because wisdom is not just knowledge, it's understanding. And understanding comes from feeling what is true, understanding it, and coming to a conclusion that is based not just on what you read in a book, but also what you feel in your heart. Which is why the goal of my study with Twin Flames Explained is to look at what I read in books, draw logical conclusions, and then also talk about how we know that there is some kind of phenomenon that we can all feel, and acknowledge the things that we all share, because the things we all share are a sign of what is true. The things we don't share, like the belief that a twin flame is not about union or is about union, that you can only be with the twin flame or that you can't be with the twin flame, those are all up up for grabs. There's not any 10 people that agree upon that, which makes that not a truth. What is true is that we all feel a deep connection to somebody who opens our minds, awakens us, opens our hearts, causes sometimes physical symptoms, sometimes spiritual symptoms. So we can all nod our heads and say, yes, 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 that happened to me. I experienced that. That's what I feel. You must be onto something. Those are truths. But for somebody to say this is what it means, that's a thought. That's a limiting belief. The truth is, you don't know that for sure. You should switch that to I think. And that will help for your message to be more truthful, because it is what you think. It is not what you necessarily can say everyone knows. While there are certain things that everyone knows. And that's my purpose here as a reader. I know that's what I was brought here to do. That's my dharma, so to speak, is that I've always been pretty good at sort of sitting in a space where both things could be true and feeling out what feels true to me while acknowledging that I don't necessarily know for certain, and being comfortable with the uncertainty, and insisting that others also embrace that they have to understand that their experiences are subjective. So that's what I'm trying to help people with here, because limiting beliefs are harmful no matter what they're about. A limiting belief about your not being able to make money, or not being able to trust person, or not being able to live the life of your dreams is harmful. And so is believing that a person in your life is the only person you can ever be with, or is only supposed to be about your healing, and it isn't supposed to be about somebody that you could potentially have a connection with long term. There's no benefit to that. Divine feminine, what you would say to the masculine is take a leap of faith. Now that is really resonating here with the Fool card for the feminine, which what is what she doesn't see coming. She doesn't see coming that leap of faith will be fully supported. So she is offering the protection message to the masculine. And what she is saying is, listen, I know it's hard for you to trust in good fortune because you've been hurt in the past when you took a risk. But staying earthbound does not offer the safety you seek, for that can be found only through trusting that Spirit is always with you and wants the best for you. Your intuition is guidance from Spirit, telling you to let go of your fears and leap into the abundance and good fortune awaiting you. I'm reminding you that the only way now is to jump forward. Can you be willing to trust the unknown, the great mystery that you can't fully understand? Even if you take the teeniest leap in consciousness to be willing. It's a beautiful beginning. Sure, every leap forward brings a new challenge, but you can handle it with Spirit as your partner, trusting that this new experience will only deepen your life with magic and meaning. Take the leap. Now, to Divine Feminine, who was saying that to the masculine, I have to say, physician, heal thyself, because it's your job to create harmony within you by trusting that it is safe to come out of this shell. It is safe to seek that light outside of self. You have found the light within, And now it is safe to look for it in the world around you. You don't have to keep hiding and waiting for somebody to bring the light to you. You have to go out into the world and seek it. You will be supported and you will find it. Man, this reading today, it's like the bee's knees. Okay, here, let me put these over here. Now, here's some of the messages for the divine masculine. Okay, we have financial stability, protection, and a surprise letter here coming. So, divine masculine, one of the things that you have felt you needed is you needed financial security in order to feel protected, in order to feel stable. You needed this sense that you had all of this wealth, prosperity, abundance, whatever. That's the only way that you feel that you can provide protection for the feminine energy. This surprise letter from a place remote brings good news from a friend who wrote, "If the words portend a stormy sky, sadness will soon much intensify." So this is a Lenormand card. And Lenormand cards are about like words or phrases. It's a little different from tarot. You're meant to like just take a word like letter or message or information, like different words that you would associate with a letter. So whatever financial stability that you've been seeking, it does look like you're going to receive some kind of news in regards to this that is going to make you feel better, feel more stable. Or you're going to finally acknowledge that you are safe, that your financial stability comes from your mindset about it, and that you see evidence of financial stability when you believe in it. So you have to believe in it before you actually see it. So something about that coming up for the masculine energy. For the feminine energy, focus on what is truly important and stop wasting time. The space card and the mountain. Confront the mountain as you would a fierce foe. To avoid your defeat, strike hard the first blow. This clear obstacle is a chance to succeed. Courage and persistence are all you will need. So this space is giving me hermit vibes again. Because you kind of given this person in your life a lot of space. You've given yourself a lot of space. You've done that with the same kind of protective energy the masculine has used to focus on financial stability. When I'm financially stable, then I will be ready for a relationship. When I'm secure about my body, then I will be ready for a relationship. Then I will be ready to try that job, to get up on stage, to go after my dream. And the divine feminine is the like reverse of that, focusing on the obstacles in front of her instead of on what's truly important, because of trying to fill this void. So there's this feeling the feminine has that if she can work through these obstacles, then she'll feel complete. Then the void inside will be complete. Because it's the obstacles outside of self that seem to represent the challenge for this feeling of fulfillment that she's seeking. But the obstacles are there because she doesn't feel fulfilled in the present moment. So in order for her to be separate from what she's seeking, she literally focuses on all of the problems that are there. There is a fear of the void. There's a fear of the space, of the emptiness, of not thinking about obstacles, not focusing on them, because in that void, there is that moment where you have to face that feeling of being alone, which is honestly, even though she's seeking that hermit energy to protect herself, it's something she actually does fear. So there is fear here for both masculine and feminine, and they need to shift the way they're looking at their current circumstances in order to overcome that fear. So creating problems in order to avoid the feeling of like, this is it. Like, it doesn't like, "Oh, when I have a relationship, I'm gonna feel X, Y, or Z." It's like, no, you're gonna feel the same. You really are gonna feel the same. Like, I know you don't believe me, but whatever way you feel now, you will feel in a relationship. If you wanna feel good in a relationship, you must feel good now. There is no way around it. It's not my friend just texted me. I think my lesson is, "Wherever you go, there you are." Wherever you go, there you are. And that is because you are always within you and you are just moving your physical body into different circumstances. But that space or that void, that consciousness that you have that this is temporary, that it's all going to eventually go away, that is not going to leave you. So you have to shift your perspective in regards to it. Okay, the sign for the masculine right now we're getting is the recycle sign. Hello again, and it says recover. It's number 21. I'm thinking of like 21-day programs, but this is about cycling through behaviors. So when you see that sign, the recycle sign, you should be mindful of the following concepts. When materials such as boxes or plastic are placed in a recycling bin, it is with the intention that they will be converted into something else just as useful as the original product. Think about your ability to bounce back in a very similar way. This card is an indication that things are coming full circle, which is what we saw here with the universe card. And the masculine sort of thinking about this process, this completion process, where things coming full circle. This is a period of restoration and recovery. If you have experienced hardships or setbacks, you will be renewed and made whole again. Don't get caught up in how this should look or present itself because it may surprise you. The additional meanings are an opportunity to recoup any losses, heal from past hurts, and renewal. So the masculine who is coming out the gate with this painful grief energy is being told that there is the opportunity for renewal here. So you don't have to fear that it's over with that world card. It's simply the cycle will start again, and you have the ability to act differently the next time around. Divine Feminine, you are getting the globe, which is giving me world card vibes also. And it says possibility 31. So when you see the globe, the earth, the world card, you should remember this lesson. The earth is as vast as ever, but in the 21st century, you have the benefit of connectivity. With advanced technology at your disposal, you have the world at your fingertips. You may be making important connections online, preparing to travel, or literally moving to a new home. This movement, whether it be a relocation for a job, an unexpected trip, or a metaphysical journey of learning, may force you out of your comfort zone, so embrace it. Expansion is in your future, so get ready to experience different people, perspectives, and growth opportunities. You may meet someone or start a type of long distance communication in the course of your travels. The globe is a reminder of possibility, of how big the planet is, and at the same time, how small. Trust in the direction this movement takes you, and remember there is so much more potential in this world and wonderful planet. Explore it. Additional meanings, a new journey. There's that new journey with the Fool card. Successful completion with the World card. Upcoming travel, online communication, and travel plans. So I am going to travel. I'm going to Niagara Falls soon, so I will take that as a sign that that's going to happen. Okay, Divine Masculine, your self-care activity is to drink tea. This is to just have mindful moments, connect with within. The mantra is, I am inspired by the wisdom of the plants and the beauty of ceremony. The journal prompt is, how do you feel when you drink tea or another beverage with intention, taking the time to enjoy it without any distractions and focusing on all the flavors and feelings that arise? Personally, I do not like tea, but I tried so many times. I like, there's some iced tea I like, but I just don't like hot beverages. But I fuck hard with cold brew, so I can enjoy the ritual of my cold brew, and like the whole process of making it. Like I have my formula down. It's like a tiny bit of maple syrup, cold brew concentrate that I make myself to here. The rest is coconut water, and then we have some like non-dairy creamer. That's the shit. Love that forever. Okay. Divine Feminine, your self-care activity. And I literally talked about my room. So y'all know what I'm going to be doing later. Clean your space. Clean your space. Get that space clean. I do need to do that. I'm in this state of constantly wanting to move. So I have packed my stuff ready to move back in March when I first needed to move because of my son's situation, which has, by the way, for those of you that are curious about my son's situation, it has improved somewhat. We were able to get my son's father, my ex-husband, to chillax a little bit from his controlling behavior. I attribute that to my mindset shift and a binding spell that I did. And also, um, my son is he just got he does auto mechanics in high school, and he got a job for the summer. He's pretty excited about in working in a shop, so he will have a certain level of independence and freedom. He also just turned 17, so I think at this point that my ex has just had to embrace that you can't control him, and he's not even doing anything bad anyway. So things are a little bit more chill for him. It doesn't mean that I don't still want to move and live with him. I've been trying to move to Massachusetts for over a year. So I do still need support, financial, booking readings, donations. If anybody has a room to rent in Massachusetts that is affordable, I do still need that. But things are a little bit smoother now. They're not so stressful as they were in March. But because of that, I have been living in this state where I packed my stuff ready to go, was unable to get the financial support I needed to make the move, and have just been sitting here with my bags packed and ready to go for the last couple of months. So my room is annoying because it's like there's bags packed, there's like, stuff in boxes. So this clean your space card is really resonating. The mantra is, when my physical space is clean and tidy, my mind is clear. The journal prompt is, what cleaning project are you dreading and why? Well, I'm dreading this because I don't want to live here. I want to live somewhere else. So it's annoying to me to have to go through and fucking deal with this space again when I'm living with boxes all around me and I just want to move. So I'm going to go journal the shit out of that. And what support would you need to get this project finished? Money. I need money. That's the support I need. Ah, okay, it's fine. It's fine. So that is your self-care activity. I'm going to find a way to honor that activity, even though that makes me want to scream. Okay, it's fine. I don't have to scream. I will get through it. All right, that brings me to the conclusion of Friday's love reading. It was an hour. I always am like, oh, it's only a few cards. It should only take 30 minutes. Bitch takes an hour to do it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy these full-length readings, know that this reading is available right now on YouTube. I'm about to sign off on my YouTube and focus on TikTok here for those of you who want personal readings. But I do have many hundreds of hours of readings available, as Luna has been doing such an incredible job of letting you know. Dusting. I feel you, Luna. Somebody sent me a picture of my piano, which is still in Los Angeles, and it was completely shiny. And I was like, oh my God, you dust it? Like, I played that shit and I never dusted it. I was like, it looks so nice. Oh my God. Especially in Los Angeles, you literally have to dust like every half hour there. But anyway, so I will be doing live personal readings right now on TikTok. But for those of you that enjoy these full length readings, you can find all of them at Tuned In Tarot YouTube. Not all of them, but many of them. Tuned In Tarot YouTube. Make sure you click on the live tab, because I have readings not just on the video uploaded tab, but the actual live tab. There's hundreds of readings there available as well. So make sure to click there. And if you need a private reading, please click the link in my profile. Right now, if you want a personal reading, I'm going to be doing Pay What You Want. I will match the number of cards to the level of your donation. You can ask any questions except for pregnancy and health. I ask that you ask those privately, please. And if you want a relationship spread about your specific person, you can pay $33 for that specific reading. Otherwise, it's completely whatever you would like to pay. And YouTube, I shall sign off. I shall see you on Monday. Have a gorgeous weekend. Okay.